Behind a set of towering iron gates in the hills of Manchester, a warm Caribbean breeze slips through the palm trees and carries the unmistakable pulse of reggae. This is the private world of Buju Banton, where luxury meets spirituality and Jamaican culture breathes in every corner of his estate. Today, we're stepping inside that world, exploring his home, his lifestyle, and the life he's built far away from the spotlight's noise. But to understand the man behind this Jamaica sanctuary, we first need to revisit the journey that made him a legend. Born Mark Anthony Myrie on July 15, 1973 in Kingston, Jamaica, he grew up in the spirited but challenging community of Barbican Road, Kingston 8. The youngest of 15 children, he was raised by a hard-working mother who sold food as a street vendor and a father employed at a brick factory. His mother affectionately nicknamed him Buju, while Banton, a title for a respected Jamaican storyteller, was later adopted as an homage to DJ Buju Banton. Music found Buju early. As a child, he absorbed the rhythms of outdoor sessions and dancehall sound systems that filled Kingston's nights. By age 12, he wasn't just watching, he was performing. Under the stage name Gargamel, young Buju toasted alongside local systems like Sweet Love and Rambo Mango, sharpening the deep, gravelly voice that would become his signature. His breakthrough arrived in 1986, when DJ Clement Irie introduced him to producer Robert French. The debut single, The Ruler, followed in 1987, opening doors to work with top producers such as Patrick Roberts, Bunny Lee, Winston Riley, and Digital B. His ascent exploded in 1991 after joining Donovan Germain's Penthouse Records, where he partnered closely with producer Dave Kelly. In 1992, Buju made history by surpassing Bob Marley's record for the most #1 singles in Jamaica within a single year. Tracks like Bogle and Love Me Browning dominated the charts and airwaves. But 1992 also brought a storm. The unauthorized re-release of his 1988 song Boom Bye Bye, written when he was just 15, sparked global outrage. Concerts were canceled, including his planned appearance at WOMAD, and he faced intense backlash from US and European audiences. By the year 2000 marked a bold crossover when he signed with Anti Records and released Unchained Spirit, an album blending reggae, dancehall, roots, and even punk. Collaborations with Luciano, Morgan Heritage, Stephen Marley, and punk band Rancid demonstrated his ability to bridge genres without losing authenticity. Buju continued to deliver powerful work into the 2000s. Rasta Got Soul, 2009, crafted over 7 years, reaffirmed his dedication to pure roots reggae and garnered a 4th Grammy nomination. But that same year brought his most devastating setback. In December 2009, he was arrested in Miami on federal drug charges. His 2011 conviction resulted in a 10-year prison sentence, a moment that seemed to freeze his career in time. That return came on December 7, 2018. Buju's release set off a wave of anticipation, culminating in the Long Walk to Freedom concert in March 2019 at Kingston's National Stadium. More than 30,000 fans packed the venue to welcome their champion home. He quickly re-established himself creatively. Country for Sale debuted at #1. One on the iTunes Reggae chart, and Trust, released later that year, became his first official music video, and another Billboard-topping hit. In 2021, he entered the digital art world with an NFT collection, becoming one of Jamaica's first artists to explore the new medium. His influence crossed into global pop culture again in 2022, when DJ Khaled featured him on These Streets Know My Name, alongside giants like Capleton and Bounty Killer. Today, Buju Banton stands as a symbol of Jamaican resilience, a man who has stumbled, risen, reinvented, and reclaimed his voice. And that voice echoes loudest in the place he now calls sanctuary. Jamaica Home, iconic lifestyle of reggae art. Sitting high above the hills of Pusey Hill in Manchester, Jamaica, Buju Banton's estate feels like a world within a world, quiet, elevated, and deeply connected to the island that shaped him. From the outside, the mansion blends seamlessly into the landscape, using natural stone, warm earth tones, and handcrafted wooden elements that echo Jamaica's architectural heritage. The biggest design statement, however, comes from the floor-to-ceiling glass walls that stretch across multiple parts of the home. They serve as oversized picture frames, capturing lush greenery, rolling hills, and dramatic sky views. Morning light pours in with a soft glow, while evenings transform the entire house into a serene, golden sanctuary. For an artist like Buju, who draws energy from nature and spirituality, this constant connection to the outdoors is essential. Inside, the layout balances open concept flow with intimate spaces for creativity, reflection, and family life. The main living room features high ceilings, contemporary furnishings, and a breezy openness, perfect for gatherings. The modern kitchen, fitted with custom cabinetry and high-end appliances, blends functionality with understated Caribbean elegance, a space where Buju can entertain guests, host reasoning sessions, or simply unwind after long studio nights. Speaking of the studio, one of the most meaningful rooms on the property is Buju's private creative space. Though kept mostly out of the public eye, fans know this is where he rebuilt his musical identity after returning home. Instruments line the walls, notes, photos, and memories sit in quiet corners. Energy flows easily here, the kind of room where a melody can appear out of nowhere and turn into the next anthem. Upstairs, the master suite offers views that feel almost spiritual. With hardwood floors, custom closets, and a spa-style bathroom featuring stone finishes and a deep soaking tub, it's designed for rest and reflection. A sanctuary within a sanctuary. Several guest rooms follow the same theme of warmth and simplicity, allowing visiting artists, friends, and family to feel right at home. Outside, the estate becomes even more magical. A broad terrace overlooks the valley, with gentle breezes carrying sounds from the distant hills. The infinity pool merges visually with the horizon, creating the illusion of floating above Jamaica. Shaded lounge areas, gardens, and quiet nooks complete the outdoor living space, all crafted for peace, contemplation, and the kind of conversations only Buju can inspire. Beyond Jamaica, Buju also owns a residence in Tamarack, Florida, a property tied to one of the darkest chapters of his life. In December 2009, this house became the site of his arrest on federal charges, a moment that reshaped his journey and ultimately fed into his story of redemption. And now, as we step away from these hills and into Buju's everyday life, it's time to explore another part of his identity. The cars that carry the Gargamel from studio to stage. Cars. At the top of that list is the Ferrari F430, a machine as bold and unmistakable as the Gargamel himself. The F430 is pure Italian artistry, a naturally aspirated 4.3-liter V8 pushing out 483 horsepower and 343 pound-feet of torque, capable of launching from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 4 seconds. The kind of ride that turns heads on Kingston's roads and reminds everyone that Buju doesn't just make statements in music. But Buju's lifestyle isn't all speed and flash. It's also grounded in comfort, versatility, and that unmistakable Jamaican luxury. Enter the Land Rover Range Rover, a staple among Caribbean elites and global stars alike. Whether equipped with a smooth, turbocharged inline-6, a commanding V8, or one of the refined plug-in hybrid options, the Range Rover fits Buju's rhythm perfectly. Powerful when needed, quiet when desired. Rolling straight from the garage into the money side of Buju Banton's world, his finances tell a story just as layered as his music. Income and net worth. Buju stands today with a net worth of nearly $3 million, built not on one major paycheck, but on a steady stream of music revenue, touring income, and business ventures that have sustained him through both triumphs and turbulent years. His earnings begin with music sales and royalties, a foundation that stretches back to classics like Till Shiloh, an album that has sold over 1 million units worldwide and continues to bring in revenue through digital downloads, vinyl reissues, and licensing for film and TV. Together, these catalog earnings generate an estimated $300,000 to $500,000, buoyed by songs like Untold Stories, which remain staples in global reggae playlists. Streaming has become another key pillar, especially since his 2020 release, Upside Down 2020, reignited global interest. Across Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube, where his 613,000 subscriber channel brings in around 4,000 to 7,000 monthly. Buju earns roughly $100,000 to $200,000 annually from digital plays alone. But the heart of Buju's financial engine has always been concert tours and live performances. Whether headlining Jamaica's national stadium or selling out shows across Europe and the US, his presence draws massive crowds. With ticket prices often ranging from $50 to $200, his tours typically generate $400,000 to $600,000, especially following his celebrated 2018 release from prison. And speaking of connection, Buju's story wouldn't be complete without the work he's done beyond music. The philanthropy and community impact that reveal the heart behind the icon. Philanthropy. At the center of his charitable work is the Buju Banton Foundation, launched in January 2019. Created to support at-risk Jamaican youth under 20, the foundation provides essentials such as food, clothing, healthcare, school supplies, and skills training. Despite obstacles, including being denied formal registration in Jamaica due to Buju's criminal record, the foundation continues to operate with donor support. Audiomack donated $5,000 in 2021, and Buju regularly channels proceeds from concerts and album sales into its programs. One of the foundation's biggest impacts is at Sunbeam Children's Home in St. Catherine. Buju became its largest individual donor, investing $3 million Jamaican dollars into a sustainable poultry and egg-laying project that provides income and hands-on skills training. He also donated laptops, computers, and his Jamaica Festival Song Competition winnings. The home honored him in 2021 for his extraordinary contributions. His philanthropy also reaches Mount Olivet Boys' Home in Manchester, where Buju sponsored new desktops, chairs, supplies, and mentorship programs. The boys recognized him with a special Father's Day tribute, a symbol of the emotional impact his presence carries. He has also shown leadership in disaster relief. Through the Buju Banton Foundation, he spearheaded Hurricane Melissa airlift operations, partnering with aviator Barrington Irving to deliver over 50,000 pounds of supplies to devastated communities, working alongside organizations like the Rockhouse Foundation. His philanthropy extends beyond Jamaica as well. In 2020, during the COVID-19 crisis, Buju raised funds for the Legal Aid Society through a Billboard Live at-home virtual concert. And in 2024, he donated $200,000 to the Accompong Town Maroons to support development in their St. Elizabeth community. Still, some of his most meaningful acts are the ones least publicized. In 2019, Buju quietly walked the streets of downtown Kingston, distributing meals to homeless residents, choosing impact over attention. And behind that public impact lies a private man, whose personal life adds yet another layer to the legend. Personal life. The reggae icon was once married to Nina Atala, a relationship that drew significant media attention. After their separation, Nina began dating Ghanaian football star Asamoah Gyan, a development that stirred headlines across entertainment and sports circles. Buju is the father of 17 children, a large and complex family whose individual paths reflect both his influence and Jamaica's vibrant cultural spirit. Several of his children have stepped into public life, making names for themselves while still navigating the weight of the Miri legacy. One of the most well-known is Marcus Miri, a respected music producer whose work has shaped modern Jamaican sound. His sharp ear and bold production style echo the musical environment he grew up in. Another child, Jodian Miri, carved out a different identity in politics as a member of the Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, bringing the Miri name into public service and community leadership. The musical torch continues with Jahaziel Miri, an emerging reggae artist who embodies elements of his father's lyrical depth and spiritual tone. Meanwhile, Abihail Miri has built a career in modeling and entrepreneurship. Her vibrant presence online made her a rising public figure, though her relationship with Buju was tested in 2021 when she accused him of physical abuse, a deeply emotional and public conflict. The two eventually reconciled, confirmed in March 2023, when Buju posted a heartfelt photo celebrating their renewed bond. But not all family chapters carried healing. In April 2024, Buju Banton suffered the devastating loss of his 20-year-old son, Miles Miri. The sudden tragedy shook the entire family, and Buju openly shared his grief with fans, revealing the fragile humanity behind a man often seen as larger than life. Family, faith, conflict, and resilience. Buju's personal world mirrors the very themes that define his music. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your support keeps us exploring more iconic lives and extraordinary stories. See you in the next episode.